For those of you who are still in college and are planning to get your BS in computer science, this video is for you. The only things that my professor really talked about in CS classes were software engineering, and software engineering. The only places that you want to work after college is some of the big name tech companies like Facebook, now called Meta, Google, Amazon, Netflix, FAANG. There's so many other things out there, and that's what we're going to be talking about. What are some of the entry-level jobs that you can get with a CS degree? And with that said, welcome back to my channel where we talk about tech, consulting, and personal development. There are 8 different entry-level jobs that you can do with a CS degree. The first one would be what I do, which is tech consulting, also known as IT consulting. The second would be business analyst. The third would be product management. The fourth would be data engineer. The fifth would be network/system admin. This includes database admin as well. The sixth would be cybersecurity, cybersecurity consulting, working with cybersecurity systems, programs, things like that. The seventh would be blockchain and Web3 development. When I was in college, Web3 was totally new, and nowadays you can get an entry-level job as long as you're able to do side projects building blockchain technology and using Web3.js. And last but not least would be game developer. All of these jobs, although require coding and programming, they have very niche specialties within them where it requires different skill sets and allow you to grow in those specific skill sets. Keep in mind though that some of these jobs vary in pay ranges. As you may know, software engineering, you get paid hella, while for example, as a game developer, you won't get paid as much, but you'll get experiences as well as developing some of your favorite games. Now that you know about these 8 different jobs, I'll go into a little bit more detail to explain what they are. Alright, to start off, I'll first go with the IT/tech consulting. With IT consulting, you're probably doing 75% coding when you first enter the job force, but the other 25% is going to be more on the consulting side. That means you're able to talk to businesses, you're able to interact with people, interact with teams. With IT consulting, you build different skill sets compared to software engineering, such as speaking, communication, learning to talk to both technical and non-technical people. The second job would be business analyst. You won't be dealing a lot with coding. Instead, you'll be utilizing more of the data using Excel, building PowerPoints, and also one of the key things that you can use CS degree for is understanding technical problems and converting them into business problems. Business analysts usually are the people who create what we call user stories. User stories allow programmers, developers, software engineers to be able to code out what businesses need. As a business analyst, you don't have to code anything. I would suggest this job to people who don't want to code but still want to be technical. Alright, so let's move on to the third job, which is product management. In this area, what you're going to be doing would be something along the lines of helping build out, product timeline and roadmap, prioritize certain requirements and tasks. You're still able to work with technology, and that's where your CS degree comes in handy because you're able to understand the code as well as business domain, similar to a business analyst, but this time you're interacting more with software engineers and developers. As a product manager, you're going to be using Jira, Kanban to be able to keep track of how the product is doing, how soon the product is going to be released. Another thing about product management too is if you're a person who really wants to design the product while really implementing the product, this job is for you. The fourth job will be data engineer. This role is going to be similar to that of a software engineer where you're going to be coding and programming most of the time. The difference here though between software engineer and data engineer is that software engineers usually tend to deal more with mobile app development, web-based development, while data engineer are people who work with huge amount of data, whether that would be real-time streaming data or big data, and be able to utilize those data to build different data pipeline tools, whether that would be a machine learning pipeline or it would be an extract, transform, load data pipeline to be able to predict future trends. So if you're more of a data analytics type of person who loves seeing a lot of information and be able to retrieve certain trends within that information, I believe that data engineer is best path for you. All right, moving on to the next job. The fifth job would be network system admin. This job can also be good for people who enjoy building networks, creating networks that's optimized, creating servers, turning them down, setting them up, as well as creating schemas for databases, especially if you're into SQL and things like that. Moving on to the next job, the sixth job would be dealing with cybersecurity. As you may already know, cybersecurity is super important within businesses. You may have heard of stories where businesses had hackers come in and hack their whole entire system, or even, having data leaks of really important information and documents. If you're planning to go into cybersecurity, what you're going to be dealing with most of the time is identifying, analyzing, and solving potential security problems. So you'll be working with both the network system admin, as well as the database admin, as well as software engineers to ensure that both the front-end code bases and the back-end are secured. All right, moving on to the next job, the seventh job would be blockchain/Web3 developer. This developer job is going to be different from your regular software engineering. Like I mentioned before, software engineering usually deals with Web 2.0, while this is going to be dealing with the new Web 3.0. And so if you're really interested in this new Web 3.0, I would say this would be the ideal job for you. And the last job that I wanted to talk about would be game developer. What you're going to be doing as a game developer is going to be coding out, the functionalities of game characters, game features. If you're ever familiar with any games that you ever played with, whether that would be League of Legends, Dota, Minecraft, those were all invented by programmers and coders. As a game developer, you're going to be utilizing different tech stack compared to that of your peers who are going into software engineering. Software engineer jobs would focus on JavaScript, Python, C#. As a game developer, you're going to focus on C++, Unity, or something of that nature. You're going to be focusing on optimizing your code to make sure it works properly, as well as making sure your code doesn't take too long to load or create any lag or latency within the game. And this job is actually perfect for people who want to be able to contribute to the gaming industry. Hopefully this video will give you that clarity, as well as being able to open your eyes to different fields that you can utilize your CS degree in. As always, if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.